Hello, welcome back to Marta's Planning Mess. This is going to be a video about my worship planner and how I am keeping up with that and some kind of, not a new direction, but a little bit more organized direction that I'm going in with that. So first what we're going to do, this is a Sterling Ink N2 booklet. It's the full year size booklet, so there's 500 some pages in here. This is a Hobonichi Cousin from last year, the 24, and I've talked about this in some of my other worship planning videos, but just to recap really quick, I watched somebody else's video of what they were doing for their worship, and I really liked it. They were using a Hobonichi Cousin, and they're using it a little different than I was, but I was inspired by their journey. They were using the daily pages as a place to whatever chapter or two they read that day, they would take notes on it on that space. And I was like, I really like that because I have been wanting to go. I mean, I've read through the Bible several times, but I wanted to kind of go through and document and annotate my thoughts and feelings and whatever. And I've never had a good organized way to do that. The other thing I'm kind of interested in is Bible verse mapping, and I've done some of that here and there. So I'm kind of in this space that was very appealing to me. So what I did was I did a lot of math trying to figure it all out, but I got two old Hobonichi Cousins because they were a lot cheaper. And this was kind of before I realized that probably a Sterling Ink Daily in A5 would have worked a little bit better. But anyway, and I decided to use this planning section here that's kind of like their yearly spread as a place to figure out how many pages I would need for each chapter. So I had a couple options. The first option was just to use the daily pages and have one page for each chapter of the Bible. And I think I would have done 3 to 4 books that way. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not really using my monthly or my weekly spreads. So that part of the book is just going to sit there empty. I probably could white out the lines in there and use those pages as well. So what I did, the reason I was thinking of just using the dailies was because this was a great index, to be like, what chapter of what book am I on? So what I did was that for those pages, these are the daily pages, that's where I put that at. And then if I was using a monthly spread, I kind of annotated it like this. So this would have been the 23 December. So I had a page, an A page and a B page because it's a 2-page spread. And so I figured out that for all of those, and they go into March of 25. So that's why I've got 12 C and D, because that's 24's spread of December, and then 25's spread of January is 1 C and D. So that's just how I kind of annotated where in the book I'm going to find it, because in theory this is going to be a nice just Bible commentary, my personal Bible commentary. And if I'm later years down the road, like, what did I think about when I was reading John 3, I can figure out which one of these 2 books. It worked out to being 2 books doing it this way. And some chapters do not have a full page. Some of them just have half a page. So I did go through and kind of calculate which books of the Bible I felt like were more 1-pagers or 2-page spread. So that took a lot of like planning and thinking and calculating. But anyway, this is what I came up with. So all my monthly pages get me all the way through Genesis. And then we start going to the weekly pages. So I took this space down here. And so you can see I've got week 1, A and B, week 2, A and B, etc. So that's a way to figure that out, where it's going to be. So we don't really need to go into this too much, but see, here's my first monthly pages. This is February. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Well, anyway, yeah, here's December. So there's Genesis 1. I've whited out everything. Genesis 2. January, etc. And I don't know that I've whited out everything in preparation. I didn't start in Genesis I've kind of jumped around, just kind of looking at my Bible going, where is there, I'm a write in my margins kind of girl. So where is there nothing written? Those are the books I want to start with. And I want to jump around, not do all history in a row and then all prophecy in a row, just kind of jump around. So I give myself some variety. So anyway, that's how the whited out monthly pages look. It looks like I didn't finish. And then I started out. So here's what a whited out weekly page is starting to look like. So, and I'm leaving these, I guess, at the top maybe. So I'll know, because that's kind of my index is it's week 1. So I guess what I need to do is probably, see how week 1 is really tiny? I probably need to find or write it in week 1A and then week 1B so that I know which page I'm on if I'm looking for that specific chapter. And then of course when you get to the daily pages, those are fine because, they have space. And so anyway, that I have this whole thing, 2 books mapped out. So I started in Hosea. So that one, I think it's February. No. Let's go to here. Let's see. Let's make it work here. Oh, Hosea is in the other book. That's why I haven't used this book yet. So I did the book of Hosea, and I've just finished 1 Corinthians. So I've decided I'm going to jump back into this book, and I'm going to do Nehemiah. That's my first history book, and I know Nehemiah, but I haven't spent a lot of time studying it. So I figured out where Nehemiah was going to be. I've gone ahead. It's in August. So I've gone ahead and done that, and I just, write it out. And it's going to be, I'll have a whole page for Nehemiah 1. So anyway, that's been working quite well. And as I was going through trying to find this book, because I had the other book with me, I found this. This is something I had done a long time ago. Somebody had been like, hey, you should go through the Bible, and every chapter you should have one line to describe what's in the chapter. And I really liked that idea. So I did almost the whole Bible. And it's in here. And of course, I did this when my children were very young. And we have some scribbles you can see where they've come in. And you can also see, I struggle sometimes to do one line. So I've done most of the Bible. I do have some sections. I think when I got to the New Testament, other things were going on. And so looks like I didn't quite finish Luke. I did Corinthians, but for some reason I jumped around. Anyway, so I've decided I wanted to see if I could fit this information into this book. Well, where was I going to put it? And the reason I thought of that was, so the way the cousin works is on the first day of the month, you have this blank page. So I had 12 of those because there's 12 months of dailies. And then I also have, in the beginning of the book, if I can turn to it, I have this page, which has nothing on it. And I have these 2 pages with stuff on it, but not stuff I'm going to use. And then, of course, in the back, with Hobonichi, you have all of these auxiliary pages, which when I first started out at Hobonichi, I thought was super cool. Now I'm like, that's such a waste. I want to use these pages. So I counted up. There were 26 pages. These, I think, are accounted for in my daily pages of, writing a chapter a day. So anyway, I have sticker printer paper, and I'm going to do some spreads that have, so I divided up those 26 pages by the number of chapters that this book would have. And the next book, which was smaller because this one is a little bit fuller, just because I didn't want to stop. I wanted to end in Psalms, and the next book starts in Proverbs. Anyway, so that number, 20, I should get 21 or 22 chapters, lines where you've got the chapter and then one line where you write what the kind of the idea of the chapter is. And those are stickers, and I'm just going to put them on top of these. So I still have to create and print those off, but that's kind of exciting. So, and then I can go through, I can do Hosea and 1 Corinthians and just write those in really quickly. And then as I'm doing my daily thing, I can fill it in. So anyway, that's a way to kind of give new life to this and to also get it incorporated into here. So that, I spent some time today figuring out how that was going to work. So let's go to this. This is my worship planner, and I've got monthly section at the beginning. I started off drawing out the months and documenting what I was doing there, and then I decided to switch it up just for simplicity's sake and do my monthly spread there. This is where I record what I studied that day, and then here is a daily area where I am journaling about that, writing out prayer requests, prayers, etc. And then I have a section for prayer requests here that I kind of ran out of space. So I've started in the back, and I have basically, at this point, it's morphed into like a page a week. And then I knew I wasn't going to finish this book this year, so I went through and I started doing next year. So I gave myself, there's my month, January, and a place to write down what I studied every day. And then here is this for each week, where I can write in things. So I did that for 31 weeks. I don't know if I'll go that long, if it'll take me that long to fill this up, if I'll need to do more, but I figured that was a good place to stop. So I've got weekly and monthly spreads here going consecutively backwards towards my daily spreads, which are going forward, and at some point they will meet. So that is where I'm at with this. And just so you can see, I just kind of, I've got the date stickers and I put them down. Some days, like this was like sermon notes. Here's just stuff from devotions today. And you can see, like, sometimes they're bigger, some are little. Sometimes I miss days and I just put the stickers in so I can kind of visually see what is happening here. So that's kind of how I've been using this. Since I set up those prayer request things in the back, I stopped using, if we can find it, these smaller ones to put prayer requests kind of in as on the day that they happened. It was too hard to kind of flip through and keep up with that, with them being in more than one section. Of course, I ran out of room in the front. So anyway, I'm enjoying doing it this way, and I'm excited for and to see like how long it takes me to fill up this book, because it's quite chunky. And then moving forward, I think I'll probably continue staying with a book like this, but I may have to think about where maybe doing my monthlies and my weeklies in the front in the way I did them here, and then maybe doing my daily pages backwards, moving towards each other, kind of like I'm doing now, just because I don't write a page a day or half a page a day. There's no set amount. Sometimes it's more or less. I don't want blank spots. So that's kind of where I'm at with this one. So anyway, I hope that's helpful to you. Maybe it gives you some ideas in how you can do things that work for you.